prove that it's real, he plunges the sword into an apple, impaling it. He slices the apple in two and offers half to his assistant. She doesn't seem amused. He tosses his half away, then hers. You can bet someone else cleans up the secret warehouse. A little more conjuring to get his girl in the mood. And he thrusts the sword into her stomach, then straight through her body. No wonder he didn't let her eat the apple first. You can see the sword is completely through her torso. The magician removes it, gives the girl another magical wave, and all is forgiven. This guy has all the right moves. So how does the magician plunge the sword through the girl's body without killing her in cold blood? The first secret is in the sword. Actually, there are two of them. This one couldn't kill a fly. It's incredibly flexible. That's because it's made from two pieces of an ordinary tape measure that have been attached face to face. See? It bends at the slightest touch. So if it's that flexible, how did he impale the apple? That's where the second sword comes in. This one is solid. It's sharp and stiff. Very stiff, as his assistant is eager to prove. While our attention was focused on the sliced apple, his assistant was secretly pulling a switch. Here we can see her trading the real sword for the fake, flexible one. But how does the tape measure sword pass through the body of the girl? You guessed it, it doesn't. The secret is concealed by her costume. This trendy corset and sash combo isn't just making a bold fashion statement. It's hiding a flat metal tube that conforms to the girl's waist. From behind, you can see the back of the tube. To impale the girl, the magician inserts the end of the fake sword into the mouth of the tube. He pushes it into the tube, and it appears to pass through the girl. In reality, it's traveling through the tube, around her waist, and out the backside. Close examination reveals that the sword looks much shorter now than it did before entering the tube. Here's what the metal tube looks like without the corset. See? It's been formed around the girl's waist to provide a channel for the sword. The sword goes in one side, bends through the channel, and eventually comes out the other side. You can see that the girl is never in any real danger. And that's how the magician impales the same girl over and over, without running out of assistance or running from the law.
Next, the magician exposes the secrets to the famous street magic trick of making cigarette ash pass through a human hand. And then, he faces the deadly jaws of an industrial wood chipper in the most dangerous escape ever attempted. Find out how it's done when Magic's Biggest Secrets Finally Revealed returns.
Here's a trick that popular street magicians use to freak the minds of unsuspecting victims. The magician asks his volunteer to show that her hands are empty and clean on both sides. In this case, he's using his assistant, but she's not in on the trick. He asks her to hold her hands with her fingers outstretched. The magician then picks up an ashtray, takes some cigarette ash, and sprinkles it on the back of one of the girl's hands. He tells her to make a fist and then commands her to rub the ashes with her other hand. They've disappeared. Now he asks her to open up her fist and look. There they are. The ashes have melted through her hand and reappeared in her palm. Freaky, huh? So how does the magician make the ashes melt through the girl's hand and reappear in her palm? The secret is so simple, you'll be amazed. Her hands are clean on both sides, and again, this is usually done with an unsuspecting volunteer. The magician shows the back of his hands, but not the front. That's because he secretly coated one of his fingers with ashes before the trick began. It's important to do this out of your volunteer's view. He's ready to begin. When he indicates for the girl to hold out her hand, he purposely holds his own hands low. She's guaranteed to mimic the move so he can naturally readjust them to where he wants. During this move, he transfers the ash from his finger to the palm of her hand. By doing it casually, she has no idea what he's just done. Now that her hands are at the right height, he simply sprinkles some ash on the back of one hand and tells her to concentrate as she rubs it in. Of course, she's actually just wiping it off. But by suggesting that she concentrate, he can easily convince her that it is melting into her hand. When she opens her palm, she has no idea how the ash really got there and assumes that he has somehow freaked her mind. An industrial wood chipper, capable of reducing whole trees to dust in a matter of seconds. Just imagine what it could do to a body. And here come the girls. No time to imagine what they can do. There's a dangerous escape coming up. Appropriately enough, the magician has a solid pine box in the shape of a coffin headed straight toward the wood chipper's 1,000 RPM blades. You can probably guess what he's got in mind. We know this guy is pretty twisted. Under no circumstances should you attempt anything you're about to see. Sure enough, he heads straight for the coffin. Let's hope he's not headed to an early grave. His assistants are all too eager to help seal him inside the pine box. Maybe he's not so easy to work for. The lid goes into place. The teeth continue to grind. The magician sticks his hands through 2 handholds. The lid is fastened with screws as his hands are secured with a pair of regulation police handcuffs, which will make his escape from the coffin even more difficult. I don't even want to think about what's going to happen next. The grinding teeth of that wood chipper are less than 30 feet away. Do you think the magician plans to escape before he and the box are ground into garden mulch? The box is in motion, cruising down the conveyor and directly at the spinning blades. Less than 10 feet to go and he's still trapped inside. This is too dangerous. His hands are free, but someone better let him out. This is one continuous camera shot. The box isn't stopping. It's being sucked into the steel jaws. I can't bear to watch. The chipper is turning the coffin and its occupant into shreds. So long, Masked Man. And I didn't even get a chance to thank him for all the laughs. But wait, who's this? Can it be? The masked magician. He stared death in the face and won. Again. Nice work. Now, show us your secret.
Next, the masked magician will reveal the incredible secret behind his death-defying escape from the pulverizing jaws of the wood chipper. When magic's biggest secrets finally revealed returns.
We just saw the masked magician survive the pulverizing blades of an industrial wood chipper and escape unharmed. Incredible. But now for the secrets. So how does the magician escape the coffin and the handcuffs before it's fed into the grinding blades of the 220 horsepower wood chipper? There's a secret, but this is still a very dangerous trick. Again, do not try this at home. Failure would result in a horrifying death. This is a real wood chipper, and the pine coffin is actually being reduced to tiny flakes of wood. But the masked magician knows he'll make it out in time. The assistants use real screws to fasten the lid in place. The handcuffs, on the other hand, aren't so real. That's why he's confident he'll escape before he's chopped to pieces. The handcuffs are rigged to open with the slightest pressure. Here's another look. A quick snap of the wrists, and he's out. The truth shall set you free, and so will phony cuffs. Not very sporting of him, but then again, he's got to minimize the danger. The magician is free of the handcuffs, but still headed for certain doom. But he's not worried, since the coffin has a secret trap door along one side. This secret panel allows him an instant escape. Once his hands are free, all he has to do is flip open the door and jump out of the box. A thick pad breaks his fall only seconds before the box is chewed to shreds. A soft landing, safe and sound. And here's the secret to why we never see his escape. Beneath the conveyor belt is a mirror that reflects the ground. We never see anyone walk in front of the mirror like this, so the illusion is very convincing. When you look closely from this angle, you can see the mirror vibrating as the coffin enters the chipper. Of course, you're so distracted by the destruction, we don't even bother to notice. And now for the magician's escape route. He crawls from the crash mat across the ground and along the back side of the chipper. While we're looking at the shooting shards of wood, he's making his way into the cab of the truck. The driver's door is open and ready for his arrival. From the front seat, it's just a short hop into the back of the truck. A black curtain hides the magician until it's time for him to make his appearance. He sneaks out and strikes a pose, offering relief to those who feared the worst.
Next time, the masked magician returns to reveal more of magic's biggest secrets.